I did this analysis probably about, you can see it was back in March. And I just basically said that I thought that for Solana in particular, that this was our trading range. Top end of the range, reload short zones, bottom end of the range, reload long zones. And we were just going to play ping pong back and forth. And look at what happened here. I mean, it's incredible when you look back in hindsight at how consistent this shit is. So, to draw our green box all the way across here. Would have been a good idea to either cover shorts or maybe even think about buying when we got down in here. Looks pretty reasonable to me. Interesting commentary about Solana itself, and I hope you all can learn from this because this was a pretty good education for all of you. We started watching Solana when it went crazy straight up like this, and I was like, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. We also spent a lot of time talking about wicks and tails like to be eaten. These guys were all trap bears. They would love desperately to get released, and then if you draw a fib off of the high up top there's also a big wick up here. So there are a bunch of trap bulls up here that would like to get released. Interesting how the counter trend rally came right to that candle body high low for trade location and then just stopped there. So really, I did this analysis probably about, you can see it was back in March. And I just basically said that I thought that for Solana in particular, that this was our trading range. Top end of the range, reload short zones, bottom end of the range, reload long zones. And we were just going to play ping pong back and forth. And look at what happened here. I mean, it's incredible when you look back in hindsight at how consistent this shit is. So, to draw our green box all the way across here. Would have been a good idea to either cover shorts or maybe even think about buying when we got down in here. Looks pretty reasonable to me. I don't have the indicators on here because this is the bird eye, so it's not trading view, but we probably had divergences in momentum start to form in here. I don't know whether I really have a very good looking W to work with here, but it does look like it's climbing the wall of worry, and I wouldn't be surprised, higher highs and higher lows defines a bull. My hunch is they're probably going to take this thing right back up into this wick all the way up top here. So that's like $200-300. And I might even make the argument that through this summer silly season, we're probably going to go and revisit this trend line here. So just out of curiosity, well, why don't we make this a little bit bigger like that? And let's keep an eye on this. And where does that actually suggest we ought to go? We could also do things like fog and bombs, especially off of these bottoms here. 2.618, just eyeballing it. Probably 2.618 is up, into this wick. I would not be surprised to see that we're actually up testing this from the underside. And this might even happen over the next month or so. And look at Ethereum just going for it. Remember I had said recently that I think Ethereum actually is the tell here. And I had been, so I had been sort of talking about what does this pattern look like? Does it bottom out and we start heading higher? Or does this thing M out and we're done? I think probably this is probably your biggest tell going forward. So this is just simply if we break out through the highs here, you can see the W is trying to come in here. So if the W does fire fog and bombs, that probably takes us up to 2.618 right there. But if we break out through these highs here, then I think it's just saying that it looks like the market wants to head higher. I find it very hard to stomach going in on the buy side here. I would not buy. In fact, I'll tell you that right now. I won't buy Bitcoin here. I won't buy Ethereum kind of thing. Interesting. You can see how 2.618 is right up there. And actually, we could probably even draw like a nice little trend line, boobity boo there. Yep. So you can kind of see it. Looks like they want to push this thing up top there. You can see that or not. If this is the case, I don't really want to stand in front of this. The fact that this thing is trying to W out here, if you see Ethereum up through, what does that say? 38.49.60, and today's here 38.47.40. So we're literally talking about $2.20. Looks like it's about $10 off of its high. But if you see that, and really you could make an argument on a clothesline basis, the W is already trying to form. So if we like close here, there it is there, then oh boy, we're heading higher here. If this thing does M out over the next day or two, I don't know what would derail this bull, but if it does, okay, I'll change my my tone. But for the time being, as I had said there earlier, I took the short off here and just, sit on the sidelines, just let the dust settle. Ironically enough, I actually think this is the kind of environment right now because I don't see any top in either things like the total or well, I mean, geez, using the stock market itself. In fact, actually, it might be interesting just take a boo at the Nasdaq because I think the Nasdaq is just racing higher here. Where's Nasdaq? There it is over here. Yeah, look at that. Just steamrolling its way higher here. Even blasted through ATR levels, which actually was interesting. The level threeers were just doing stop management and introduced them to the ATR concept. So fascinating to see how the market pivoted off of this ATR level. But it almost looks like now what once was resistance is now become support. Obviously, I'm not going to buy something that looks like that, but I wouldn't even be surprised if we just sort of bump along this ATR level here. But very, very strong market here today, and the likes of Nvidia and all that. Very hard to be bearish on that stuff. That's for darn sure.